In the early 2000s, Disney began toying with the idea of breathing fresh air into the Tron IP. By 2007, Disney brought in Joseph Kosinski to discuss the project and to possibly direct it.
Sean Bailey called me in for a general meeting in July 2007. Sean really wanted to talk to me about Tron and just ask me what would my take be on a Tron sequel.
As technology had advanced in both filmmaking and in VFX since the release of the original Tron, one point of discussion was brought up over and over again. How do you remake and update an iconic movie that was ahead of its time? When discussing these plans, there were a number of things that they were quote-unquote beholden to. Producer Sean Bailey said that these were suits that were lit, light cycles, Jeff Bridges, and a screen that looked unlike any movie screen that we've ever seen before. Joseph brought in a number of people outside of the film industry to help him begin building what this world would look like. Using his background in architecture, Kosinski moved forward to make a short film that conceptualizes his vision in order to get the project greenlit. Disney took a gamble in showing the teaser at Comic-Con's Hall H in order to gauge how the audience would react without even having a script ready for it. According to Joseph, what ended up granting the approval of Disney executives was that on top of the hype in the convention, an individual had recorded the teaser with a camera and leaked it online.
But, we dropped it in front of the public, but the thing I think that really made it sing was that someone captured it on a cell phone from like the back of the room. But it's funny, that's kind of what happened with Deadpool as well.
I was just going to say, like, Deadpool is a result of a leak.
Yeah, a leak. So there was kind of a leak, but it all worked out.
With a budget of $170 million, Tron Legacy was released on December 17, 2010, and debuted at number 1 in the box office with a domestic weekend opening of $44 million. At its final theatrical runtime, the movie earned $172 million domestic, $228 million international, with a worldwide total of $400 million. The movie runs at 2 hours and 5 minutes and was rated PG for sequences of sci-fi, action, violence, and brief mild language. In genre, the movie is classified as action, adventure, and sci-fi. The reception of the film was mixed. Currently, it has 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb, 49 Metascore, and on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have given it a collective 51% score with a 63% audience score. Additionally, legendary film critic Roger Ebert wrote, "The artificial world is wonderfully well rendered, and the soundtrack by Daft Punk has such urgent electronic force that the visuals sometimes play as its accompaniment. The plot is another matter, it's a catastrophe." Unfortunately, a lot of the individuals agree with this assessment. Many people agree that Tron's strengths are both the visuals and the soundtrack, and its weakness is a story. Although the movie garnered $400 million at the box office, it was considered a dud by Disney standards. There was discussion about a third Tron film to be made, titled Tron Ascension. However, that movie was cancelled. The actual reason is unknown, but fingers have been pointed at the failed movie Tomorrowland. Director Joseph Kosinski was born on May 3rd, 1974 in Marshalltown, Iowa. Tron Legacy was his debut film in Hollywood, having only a number of video game shorts under his belt. If you play video games, you might recognize these. One is Halo 3's Starry Night, and the other is Gears of War's Mad World short. After directing Legacy, Kosinski moved on to direct Oblivion with Tom Cruise, Only the Brave working with Jeff Bridges once again, and Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise for a second time. So far, he currently has 2 nominations, one for Best Film, Oblivion, and one for Best Director, Top Gun Maverick. Garrett John Hedlund was born on September 3rd, 1984 in Roseau, Minnesota. Garrett plays Sam Flynn, who is in search of his missing father, Kevin Flynn, after getting a lead on him 27 years after his disappearance. At this point in his career, Hedlund has starred in a number of films which include Aragon, Troy, and Four Brothers alongside Mark Wahlberg. Jeffrey Leon Bridges was born December 4th, 1949 in LA, California. Bridges reprises his role as Kevin Flynn and his antagonist, Clue, an AI created in his image. Bridges is most famous for playing the dude in The Big Lebowski, as well as playing Iron Man's business partner gone villain, Obadiah Stane. Olivia Jane Coburn was born on March 10th, 1984 in New York, New York. Olivia took on the professional name Wilde after Irish poet and writer Oscar Wilde. Olivia Wilde portrays Cora, who is an isomorphic algorithm, which is a unique race of self-manifested programs in the grid. Olivia Wilde is more recognized for her work on House, Cowboys and Aliens, and Year One. Notable cast and crew includes Bruce Boxleitner reprising his role as Alan Bradley and Tron in a flashback sequence, Michael Sheen playing a Bowie-esque caster. Steven Lisberger, who was the original director of Tron, was brought back as a producer and has a cameo in the movie. And the movie's composers, the French duo Daft Punk, cameo as masked DJs in the End of Line Club. Additionally, Anis Chirfa deserves the recognition for his silent role as a stuntman who played Rinsler.
She might have caught it at birth, so it doesn't prove she was cheating, if you're worried about that.
Of course not.
How many weeks am I gonna have to...
You okay? Why is she coughing? I don't know. Do you want some water?
Are you threatened by me? Not at all.
Well, you should be. You let him know what I told you, I will not only have your license pulled, I will sue you for everything I lose in the divorce. So the fun you get out of making those snotty little comments, is it worth $19 million? Oh wait, will you hold that look? I'm really bad at showing emotions. How's this?
The movie begins 7 years after the events of the original Tron, in which Kevin is telling Sam about his escapades in the grid and the miracle he uncovered. Kevin leaves Sam on a cliffhanger and tells him that he will reveal more on the next night and that one day he'll show him the grid. He exits the room and heads off to his office to continue doing some work. The scene then cuts to a montage of newscasters reporting on the disappearance of Encom's CEO Kevin Flynn and speculating about the future of Encom as well as his newly orphaned son. After a time jump, we see Sam breaking into the Encom tower to release the newest software, and he escapes via parachute. Later that evening, Alan Bradley shows up to Sam's container house and congratulates him on his stunt, and Sam asks him for the purpose of his visit. Alan reveals that he had recently gotten a page on his pager from his dad's disconnected phone line at the old Flynn arcade. Sam scoffs at Alan, and Alan tells him to go to the arcade and check out what the page was about and hands him the keys. Sam heads over to the arcade, and upon looking around, he finds his dad's old hidden working station, which has a computer still running. Sam enters a number of commands on the computer and accidentally turns on a laser which digitizes him into the Tron world. Frightened by the sudden change of scenery, Sam runs out of the Flynn arcade and is immediately arrested by a recognizer.
This program has no disk. Another.
The guards and the recognizer enter Sam into the games and is given a set of armor and an identity disc.
This can't be good.
Once he's suited up, he enters the arena, which is set up for the Disc Wars. This game is a 1 versus 1 battle in which the discs are thrown at their opponents to eliminate them in a bracket-style tournament. Sam defeats his opponents and climbs his way to a final 1 versus 1 against Rinsler, a program that uses 2 discs. As the battle rages on, Sam is injured and pinned, and right before Rinsler deals the killing blow, Rinsler notices the blood dripping out of his wound and stops himself from finishing him off. He is questioned about his identity, and he reveals himself as not as a program but a user named Sam Flynn, and is immediately escorted to the leader of the grid.
Bring him to me.
The leader removes his helmet and Sam recognizes him as his own father. Kevin, however, corrects Sam and tells him that he is not his father. He is the AI Clue and is then escorted away. Clue is a program created by his father in his image to create a perfect system in the grid. Sam is personally challenged by Clue himself in a 5 versus 5 light cycle match. As a motorcyclist, Sam is comfortable in this game and is optimistic about his chances of survival.
Now this I can do.
Suddenly, an intruder enters the playing field in a light vehicle and saves Sam from the game. The individual introduces themselves as Cora and informs Sam that she is a friend of her father's. Cora takes Sam to the safe house that Kevin's been hiding in, and they greet each other in an emotional reunion. Later on that evening, at dinner, Kevin begins to recount the story of his disappearance. Kevin tells Sam that during the nights, a miracle happened. The miracle was not a program, but something else, and were known as isomorphic algorithms, or ISOs for short. The potential they had for humanity was great, and Kevin planned on bringing this discovery to our world. Clue, on the other hand, saw them as flawed beings and decided to purge them from the system and usurp control from Kevin.
You've been corrupted.
Tron, being the security system, attacked Clue but is then defeated by him. Kevin ran for his safety, however he was unable to reach the portal and escape, and as a result became stuck as the portal closed in on him. With Sam being brought in, it means that the portal is once again open. Kevin refuses to make a run for it as this means endangering himself and the world, as his disc is much more powerful. He also reveals that he did not send a page and that it was Clue that sent it in order to lure a user from the outside world. They decide to think about it, but Sam believes that he is able to make it to the portal and remove Clue from the outside. Cora sends Sam to a program named Zeus that is capable of helping Sam to reach the portal. Once Sam links up with him, he is immediately betrayed by him. A fight breaks out in the club between Clue's men and Sam, in which Cora and Kevin arrive to provide backup. As the trio were retreating, Cora loses an arm and Kevin loses his identity disc. Clue arrives at the club, and after a failed negotiation attempt by Zeus, Clue kills him for the disc.
I've heard the chatter about this. I realize that our alliance is at times.
Without knowing what their next move should be, they decide to take a solar sailor directly towards the portal. During the trip, Kevin fixes Cora's code, which repairs her arm, and while she's rebooting, both Sam and Kevin begin to bond. Kevin reveals that Cora is the last remaining ISO, and Cora tells Sam about how she was saved by Kevin.
That is it.
Suddenly, the solar sailor begins to enter a carrier ship, which was an unexpected stop, and the three are then once again running for their lives. Cora, in a strategic move, decides to get herself trapped, and Rinsler catches her and brings her to Clue. Clue is delivering a speech to an army of repurposed programs about invading our world. Meanwhile, Kevin and Sam split up, with Kevin looking for a ship to use and Sam entering the control room to rescue Cora and take back Flynn's powerful identity disc. After obtaining both, they escape into the flight deck below and take off in one of the light jets. On their way to the portal, they are followed by Clue, Rinsler, and a number of the bodyguards in their own light jets. Sam takes control of the turret while Cora maneuvers the ship in order to not get hit with enemy fire. The duo are able to eliminate the guards, leaving Rinsler and Clue as the final two enemies. Flynn recognizes Rinsler as being a reprogrammed Tron, and after a few moments later, Tron regains his memories and flies his jet into Clue in a final duty to fight for the users. Both jets are destroyed in the impact, however Clue manages to forcefully take Tron's backup jet and flies himself towards the portal. When our heroes reach the portal, they are then confronted with Clue, who had managed to beat them there and is standing in their way. Clue and Kevin discuss for one final time about who wronged whom, and Kevin taking the blame, citing his young and naive ignorance about what is perfection. Clue, Kevin and Sam get into a struggle in which Sam and Cora end up on the other side of the bridge closest to the portal. The bridge begins to retract, separating Clue and Kevin on one side and Sam and Cora on the other side with the portal. Clue takes Kevin's disc and is infuriated by the fact that it had been switched with Cora, and in anger he lunges towards Cora and Sam as they are exiting the Tron world. After his final goodbye, Kevin merges with his AI counterpart, destroying the Tron world in doing so. In the real world, Sam copies the code for the Tron world into a memory card. As Sam exits the hidden office, Alan is waiting in the gaming room floor after receiving a page from Sam and tells him that he was right all along and he is ready to take back Encom. Outside of the arcade, Cora is waiting for him and they both ride off, where Sam shows her the sunset that she's been dreaming of seeing.